Yes, sir. Welcome back to another Trap or Die film session. I am your host of the Trap or Die podcast, Molly Mo. And listen, man, we're here to talk about the bounce back from the offense. 31 points after scoring 7 points against the New York Giants. They put up 31 against the Eagles. You can't say too much bad about these guys and for a team who only ran the ball 12 times. You saw a lot of passing reps from these guys. So a change in the offensive line produced just a few pressures and only gave up 1 sack. And then you got a quarterback in Sam Howell who was real efficient in getting the football out from a processing standpoint, a quick read, hot checks or checks at the line, hot reads. And I think that all produced a very productive day, over 400 yards of offense. So let's go ahead and get into it without further ado. Trap or Die film session, Sam Howell, Bieniemy, and the offensive line. All right, so let's go ahead and start with a processing play from Sam Howell. Let's go ahead and run it and then talk about it at the same time, right? Sometimes when pressure is in your face throughout a day, it's hard for you to make multiple reads in one play, right? We acknowledge that. But this one was a really good situation to make a field side read and having enough time and wherewithal to go back to your boundary side, which is Terry, who's isolated over there, and finding him on the backside slant. But it's not just the slant, right? It's the ball placement too. So as we saw that, right, let's go ahead and look at the pass protection first. I'm not going to be showing a lot of plays, but we're going to show what it looked like on the day with this offensive line and everything working in unison. So to start, right, you got Sam Cosmi, 76, lined up against Fletcher Cox, maintaining his anchors, right, being able to Fletcher Cox is a strong individual, but he ends up stalemating the rush long enough to buy Sam Howell some time. Andrew Wiley on the right side, 71, right tackle. Again, you're talking about a person who is in essentially a wide 9, right? He is way outside the tight end. And for Wiley to take that vertical set, right, and being able to maintain his anchor as well, again, long enough to give Sam Howell a throw, right? A window to throw. And good effort from Chris Paul and Charles Leno, right? You're talking about one Chris Paul jumping that defensive tackle. I can't see who that is. I want to say that's Jalen Carter, right? So as soon as he tries to run the arc, now you're working with Chris Paul and Charles Leno to swat his arm down, essentially, right? Snatching his leverage away from him and just pinning him down to the ground. So a 4-man rush is negated, gives Sam Howell enough time to watch that play side read, right? That field side read where you're looking at essentially John Bates, who's covered, and now he's like, all right, let me get off that and let me go find my backside. And you get a ball placement like that, which is, let's see, there you go. Let's go ahead, drag it. Excellent ball placement in front of that corner, but not leading him too much in front of that safety either. Bradbury was on his back. So very good ball placement, good processing, and overall good pass protection up front for the offensive line. Got to give him credit there. Next up, you got a few plays later where you'll see Sam Howell work his reads downfield, step up in the pocket, and find his outlet to Brian Robinson, who picks up, I think, 11 yards on this play, gets a first down and extended, right? But again, you're looking at a play action fake. You use that motion again with John Bates to try to get a tail, right? So you kind of know at this point it's looking like zone coverage. But now, at this point, as you're looking downfield, you don't really see anybody open. Turns to Sam Howell. He notices that immediately, but he's able to navigate the pocket off the play action fake and just find his outlet. It's simple. It's nothing to be super proud of, right? But you're talking about a person who struggles to find his checkdowns. You're talking about a team who really struggles to pass protect up front, right? So now you're looking at a lot of isolated pass protections, one-on-ones, right? You got 5 one-on-ones up front right now. Let's work the 76 and Cosmi. He takes a really good pass set, right? You're talking about an angle set that drives Fletcher Cox upfield because he's taking away his inside track, right? And even if he tried to go inside, Fletcher Cox knows that he can't get inside. He's beat if he tries that. So he works upfield, essentially washes him, right? Creates that pocket for him to step in. But now you're looking at Tyler Larson up front, your center, who replaced Nick Gates, right? Really fast hands, effective strikes, right? Using that to work his leverage, to maintain his leverage, right? Just continuously, independent hand usage is working for him. And then you're looking at Chris Paul on the left side, who's essentially stonewalling. I think that's Jalen Carter. So again, you're talking about from a processing standpoint, Sam Howell working, navigating the pocket, being able to step up, find a check down when he notices that these guys aren't open. Really good pass protection up front, creating a pocket for him, allowing him to step up, creating him a lane if he wanted to take off or decided to take off. but it didn't make sense for him to do it because he had an outlet. Stay safe, dump it off, make sure you get your guy in there to get you some extra yards, maybe a first down. And B-Rob got you 11. So this one is good because you're talking about a 3rd and 4 situation, right? So as we start pressing play here, you'll see it in the end zone angle, but if you look right now as Jahan's going in motion, you see that cornerback following him, right? Now, Lynn, let's go ahead and pay attention. Check Sam Howell right now, right? That helmet tap. It's communicating. 3rd and 4. So good job from Eric Bieniemy. Good job from Sam Howell making confident checks at the line of scrimmage, right? But you're also in a situation where you don't want to get beat quickly up front. I need a quick play or a quick man beater up front or from your receiver, from your tight end, whoever you're going to, right? So this is a really good job from Sam Howell. This is a really good job from Logan Thomas winning at the break point, but also making sure that you get open really quickly so you can have a situation where your offensive line isn't in stress, even though they're doing a solid job, right? Really good ball placement from Sam Howell, getting behind that slot corner who was passing off Jahan Dotson, right? And you're talking about a gain of 14 on 3rd and 4. Really good processing from Sam, right? Having that check at the line, right? Recognizing that man, getting the ball out quickly. And now you're talking about an extended drive. So on the very next play, your first down, you get a 1st and 10, essentially checking it down to Antonio Gibson when he looks at downfield, sees that the read isn't there for him, checks it off to Antonio Gibson. But up front, again, good pass protection. Everybody winning their one-on-ones and giving that help when needed, right? So you're talking about Andrew Wiley, who has a ton of criticism from a lot of Skins fans, respectfully so, rightfully so, right? But talking about a guy right here taking a good angle set, being engaged, being able to stalemate the long arm against Brandon Graham, a very good pass rusher. Sam Cosmi, same thing, right? Maintaining his anchor, stalemating the rush up front, right? Now you're talking about Tyler Larson helping out on Chris Paul. You got a 3-man protection on the other side, right? Where it's not necessarily man on man, but now they're watching the 2 rushers over there. Really good pass protection, allowing Sam Howell opportunity, space to set his feet, make the right read, and go through progressions, right? And make that throw to Antonio Gibson. So really good processing from Sam. Quick processing, getting the ball out of his hands quick, but also good protection from the offensive line. And here we go with the Jahan TD. Really good setup and beater from for cover 3. I like how Philly, the disguise was intentional, obviously, right? But they were able to read through it. Sam Howell was able to read through it. Really good processing. Accurate ball. It wasn't behind him. It led him in the end zone. It wasn't near that middle safety, right? Really good play design from Eric Bieniemy, too. Really setting up and isolating Jahan Dotson on that seam route. But up front, perfect pocket. This is another man rush, 1v1s. Everybody's winning up front, right? Including who? Andrew Wiley, who, again, ain't getting that much respect from anybody right now. But a solid day for the most part. We know he gave up that sack fumble towards the end, but at the same time, you're talking about a person who's going up against Hassan Riddick, right, for a good portion of the day. But he's also winning a good portion of his matchups as well. So really good day for Andrew Wiley. Really good day for mainly everybody up front. Chris Paul had his issues, but younger. This one was just a really good throw. Great ball placement up front, right? Or great ball placement from Sam Howell, delivering that throw with a little bit of pressure on his backside, his blind side, right? But the protection was really good enough for him to step up, make a good throw. He should have stepped up a little bit in that pocket when he's seen this situation go up, but he's getting ready to set, plant his feet and throw. But the placement is perfect. This is the 2-minute situation with Jahan Dotson. He caught like 3 passes on this drive, but showing off like where this placement is with 3 DBs converging on Jahan. Like nobody else is getting this football. Excellent throw. Excellent catch from Jahan Dotson, who had himself a hell of a day against the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's another situation where we talk about that pre-snap processing being evident this time around for Sam Howell, right? You're seeing another situation where they recognize his man. Now you're talking about Jamison Crowder being the hot man for Sam Howell, right? And they're both recognizing that. They're on the same page pre-snap, identifying that. Jamison wins quickly, cuts upfield, be able to get the first down. I think he got 14 on the play. But again, processing that man coverage look, right? And this is how you kind of recognize it here. Sending AG from an empty set back into the backfield, and that's what gets your tail. He communicates that. That's on them. I don't know exactly what that it's just a check, essentially. But again, really good pass protection up front. You really get a full 4-man slide with an isolated one-on-one on the front side for Andrew Wiley and Hassan Riddick. But ball is out really quickly. Really good rep from Sam Howell, extending the play, or excuse me, extending the drive with that first down, throw and catch. And here we go, another ball placement that was perfect from Sam Howell. Nobody else can get it except for Logan Thomas, man. Great effort from Logan, great competitiveness, diving for the pass, right, extending his body and selling out to make this completion and make this touchdown for Washington, who I think was trailing at the time. They just tied it up right there. But again, that ball placement is where nobody else can get it. Mind you, up front, you're talking about really good or solid pass protection. They try a stunt right here, and this is where Tyler Larson has one of his few misses on the day in terms of being able to effectively pick something up quicker than what he did. Right, he gets beat on the twist, but again, it wasn't quick enough to get to Sam Howell. So overall, it's still solid protection. Lastly is the Jamison Crowder touchdown. Really good throw from Sam Howell under pressure, right? But also great ball placement, being able to navigate this, still stay square, right? Make the right read, and give Jamison Crowder a chance. It's a very aggressive throw, but you gave it a chance. Jamison Crowder paid it off for you. Now you're talking about you're trailing with a minute left, down 7. Maybe get the ball back if you get an onside kick. And yes, you see Chris Paul, like I said, he didn't have that good of a day. He's young, but a guy got him off balance, got him on his heels, exposed his chest. But once all those things happen concurrently, you get put on your ass. So I know that doesn't go through like some of the critical moments of the day. Like if you think about that sequence where Washington throws the interception, right? You have Jamison Crowder, or excuse me, Jahan Dotson wide open on the shallow cross, and Sam Howell chooses to throw high to Terry and he misses it. Or you're talking about the next drive where Washington does see Terry McLaurin wide open a couple times, right? And you get, unfortunately, 2 drops from Terry, which he says that he should have caught him, right? Which is true. He should have caught him. You get paid to make those tough catches, right? But you're talking about a person who has really good protection up front, right? We're looking at it right now. You get the stunt pickups, really good stunt pickups. You have plenty of time in the pocket. And then you're talking about another play where the same instances occur and you're able to set that man up with really good pass protection, right? And a cover 2 hole. And unfortunately, Terry isn't able to catch it. But if you're talking about accurate passes, there's room for yards after the catch. And unfortunately, they weren't able to connect on either one of them. And you're talking about 2 of those plays where you're like, these are some of those big opportunities that you miss throughout a game, but these are some of the most critical moments of a game where you have to connect on these, right? We're not placing blame on one or the other. Both Sam Howell and Terry McLaurin could have helped each other out on the play, and that's the bottom line. But ultimately, like I love how EB was able to come out in terms of like his aggressive or more so proactive nature, being able to get B-Rob available or opening screen calls, having quick passes set up for Sam Howell. Also being able to be prepared from potential blitz or pressures and having those hot reads available to Sam Howell for him to make the call if he sees something. And then Sam Howell stepping up from being able to make the right reads, processing well, processing quickly, understanding where his checks are, understanding where his hot reads are, stepping up in the pocket, and also making some accurate throws throughout the day for the most part, man. Really good day from Sam Howell. Even extending some plays with his legs, as you see. Also Bieniemy helping him out, moving the pocket, making him use his legs. All important aspects of this situation. And then lastly, the offensive line. Chris Paul was probably the one who played, if you're talking about ranking him, he probably played 5 out of 5. Stromberg probably was the second best offensive lineman of the day. Leno maybe 3rd. Sam Cosmi 1, Wiley 4. But guess what? 1 through 4 are all pretty high for my book against the Philadelphia Eagles, which is pretty good. But these guys were communicating well. Ron Rivera said after the game that Tyler Larsen was making the calls, the protection calls at the line. So you get an indication of who was really probably at fault for the first 7 weeks with the pressures that they were accumulating and the sacks that they were accumulating. It might have been Nick Gates, which obviously warrants a person who had 7 weeks of trying to get something right, and now he's getting benched in week 8. Tyler Larsen comes in, you give up 1 sack. Really good day from all 3 phases: offensive line, head coach, and offensive coordinator and quarterback. So with all that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and close this one. Let us know what you think in the comments, like, subscribe. That's going to wrap it up for this week's film session, man. Peace.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Damn, set. Watch him throw the ball. Man. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.